The question is the corruption in the judiciary, with so much talk making the roundabout. Focus on 5 of the judges now getting stronger in the airwaves. Of course, that question cannot only be asked, but Mr. Bamidele Aturu joins us now, a legal practitioner. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
I wonder what lawyers think when they hear 5 judges under the radar of EFCC. For instance, for you, are you surprised, or you think, okay, maybe, finally?
Well, not in the least. I'm immeasurably pleased that the EFCC has now, as we say, beamed the searchlights on the judiciary.
You expected this for some time?
I've been expecting this, and I'm happy that they are starting this. I'm pleased with them, and I hope that they will not stop midway, because every serious-minded lawyer, every honest legal practitioner, every God-fearing judge in Nigeria knows that there is a big rot in the judiciary, just as we have in the larger society. And I think nobody should be shocked by this, because the judiciary itself is a reflection of the Nigerian society. The Nigerian society has been corrupted, it has been polluted, mainly by the politicians, but generally because there is this get-rich quick syndrome that has afflicted the soul of this nation.
Well, you know, one would have thought that the judiciary is insulated from all of this, because a pronouncement from that arm of government could spell death for some people. So why are we, I don't know, why is it that we get into talk about this, saying that they are not also immune from all of this corruption?
Now, you have to look at a number of factors. Number one, how do we appoint our judges? Is the process transparent? Is the process clean? Who are the people appointing these judges? And who are the people who get appointed because of this culture of cronyism? This is the problem, where you sacrifice merit for mediocrity, where you allow ethnicity and all sorts of primordial sentiments to guide us in the appointment of judges, where we do not even allow the process to be open for public scrutiny. Then, of course, I think there is a lot of problem. Now, I would have expected that what we do in Nigeria is now, given the level of rot in our system, those who want to be judges, let the State Judicial Service Commission or the Federal Judicial Service Commission, as the case may be, publish the names of all those who have been shortlisted for appointment. Let Nigerians who know them, because these people are not ghosts. They live among us. They are Nigerians. We're not going to appoint people from the space to become judges. Let those who have had dealings with them when they were lawyers or when they were in the law school come out and say, look, I know this person cheated even in the exam hall. I know that this person did a case for me, got some money that belonged to me, and did not, retire this money appropriately. But of course, people will say there will be frivolous petitions. Let there be frivolous petitions. There should be a select committee. Of course, that's why the Senate, in the cases of the heads of this judiciary, screen these people who have been nominated, and let those people who are going to finally approve the NJC, because they also have their own committees, also screen this petition. They can sift the frivolous petitions from the genuine petitions. But I think that just making the process of appointing judges a chaotic exercise, as it is the case, will not get us anywhere. It won't.
Now, do you also think that the searchlight should be beamed on lawyers? Because as it seems the judges carry the bulk of the blame.
The searchlight should be beamed on all lawyers, not just lawyers.
To the bar on the bench.
The magistrates, the judges, Supreme Court justices, even clerics, that is clergymen and women. If there is a pastor or an imam who took government money to do something and the person embezzled the money for any reason, they should be in jail.
But they shouldn't. That's not a part of the judiciary.
No, I'm talking about. I'm saying that it's a systemic problem. We're talking about. Look, we don't know. Corruption is killing Nigeria, so it is not scientifically correct to just isolate judges. Of course, it's more embarrassing. It's more shameful when we begin to discuss corruption in the judiciary. But I want us to have a sociological perspective. I want us to have a scientific understanding that corruption is not just restricted to the judiciary. As a matter of fact, there are people who have said, politicians themselves, corrupted judges. But I don't agree entirely with that perspective, because if a judge does not want to be corrupted, there is no way a politician is going to dangle carrot and then you get corrupted. So, and when you are talking about judiciary also and corruption, we need to also go social, in the sense that we look at our compensation system. What do I call compensation system? I'm talking about reward system. How do we pay people? I've always been arguing that we need to do a compression in the wage system in this country. A system that allows an individual to own oil blocks, and this oil blocks is fetching that person billions of naira, and then there's a dispute between two contending parties fighting over billions of naira, and you are taking this to a judge who has never in his life had even 5 million naira before he became a judge. That judge can easily be corrupted. I'm not defending it, but I'm saying that should we allow such a system to exist? Should we allow individuals to own oil blocks? So this is my perspective.
You know, so much you've just raised there. It brings to mind what some have also argued when maybe a man who is not financially, should I say, comfortable versus a very rich man. If you look at the percentage, it's always tilting to in favor of the man who has money. So that is why people have been asking, what's the place of money in getting, should I say, justice?
Well, honestly, I must be very honest with you. We must be very frank. Nobody should come here to try to dress the judicial system in any borrowed garb, as it were. Justice is very expensive in Nigeria. Right. Very, very expensive. From the filing of the processes to being able to, get a good legal practitioner, and to being able to even pursue the case, given the congestion of cases in our courts. It can be very, very expensive. And then also when you now add this element of corruption, where there are some lawyers now who refer to themselves as legal consultants. All these guys they don't do any litigation, but what they do is to serve as go-between. I think there's a very big problem with that kind of system.
So that maxim where they say it's the last hope of the common man is long non-existent.
No, my view ideologically, and I think I've expressed it even on this medium several times, I've never seen that particular dictum as being scientifically accurate. Because when you say the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, you create some false impression. Because I've always argued, they will give you examples, and I think the media is also responsible for this. That in the case of one governorship candidate of one party against another, the Supreme Court gave judgment, so it's last hope of the common man. But common people don't contest for elections. Until I see cases from landlords and tenants, face me and face you, getting to the Supreme Court being decided in favor of the poor man, then I will agree with that statement.
No, but in magistrate court, we see that regularly. Maybe you're busy with the Supreme Court, and you don't come down to...
But you don't celebrate those magistrate courts.
Says who?
Anyway.
No, but looking at this now, I mean, we've heard lawyers talk about the structural, ethical, and operational problems that they need to tackle in the judiciary.
Yes.
With this investigation or focus, as it were, on these judges by the commission, that cannot be sufficient all by itself. I mean, how far will that alone go?
No, but I think that is quite important. It's a very significant step. We must commend the EFCC and its leadership for this very bold step, because it's not easy. Let me tell you the truth. It's not easy for the EFCC to do what it is doing now, because whether you like it or not, the judiciary is also a very powerful institution, and because you are going to be prosecuting these fellows by the time you get your evidence before their colleagues, so and there is always a camaraderie. I mean, there's always as the military people put their spirit, the core that goes along with professional work. So now for the EFCC to stand out and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have reasons to believe that these fellows who are sitting on our bench, they are corrupt. I think we must commend them. But then, I tell you, the FCC still has a lot of work to do.